Hey, guess what time it is? It is time for the Rundown with Ramon. It's a brand new day. Welcome to the Rundown with Ramon. Those of you who are watching this on demand, glad you're here. Those of you who are listening to this across our podcast channels, be sure to leave a comment. Let me know you're listening to the Rundown with Ramon. Leave a comment wherever you're watching this. I will be replying. Those of you watching this on YouTube, those of you listening to this on our podcast, not only do I want you to leave a comment, I want you to share it out, share it out, share it out. Let people know you're listening to the Rundown with Ramon. Welcome to a brand new episode. Today, we're going to talk about Make Mondays Great Again. How can you leverage the power of it being a Friday, a Saturday, or Sunday to make sure to almost nearly guarantee that your Monday, in fact, your Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the week coming are amazing. We're going to touch on that today in our special edition of today's Rundown with Ramon. And one cool thing for you to know, as you're hearing this, even you hearing this, and most of our audience hears this across our podcast, ask a question. I see the question. I'll do my best to answer your question probably in an upcoming episode of the Rundown with Ramon, so you'll get help as well. Glad you're here today. And by the way, I am loving my podcast boom arm. I love it. You don't see it here, but man, you can just move that little thing back and forth and it works so well. So glad you're here today. Don't forget, if you want more insight like this, do not miss out. Go to zoneofgenius.com. Go to zoneofgenius.com and make sure you sign up. Denny, glad you're here. Thanks for being here on the Rundown with Ramon. Denny, glad you're here today. So let's get started. We're going to dive into our flagship topic, Make Mondays Great Again. Before we do that, as always, we're going to grab some headlines of the day today. What's on the headlines of the day today and how that can impact your business. Ding, 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 ding. Capital One is going to acquire Brex in a $5.15 billion deal. $5 billion deal. Capital One has reached a deal to acquire financial technology firm Brex for $5.15 billion in cash and stock. Now, this is one of the largest bank fintech deals in history, says the executives there. Brex launched in 2017, just a few years ago, and provides corporate credit cards and expense management services for technology companies. Capital One wants to expand. Capital One wants those fees. They want to get in this. They want to sell the Brex client base more Capital One stuff. So they're saying, let's buy them out, and they know this will pay off in dividends in the coming years. The deal is going to close in the second quarter of this year. Capital One announced the deal alongside its fourth quarter earnings. So what does this mean for you? What does this mean for me? Hey, Alexandra Nicole, glad you're here today. Yes, news of the day, Capital One is buying Brex. That's something good and happy for them. But what does it mean to Denny? What does it mean to Alexandra? What does it mean to Ramon Ray? Well, this means you should be looking at how to partner with others or how to extend your brand, how to buy another business in some way, shape, or fashion. Yes, you can grow organically. Yes, you can grow doing Facebook ads and more. But I'm telling you, and I'm considering this as my deal flow, as my finances get a little better and better, as I save some cash, get some money, I'm considering, should I buy EYG events? Should Alexandra Nicole buy Zone of Genius? Cody Sanchez talks about this. What are the assets other people are building and have, and what is the season they're in life where they may say, for all Alexandria knows, Ramon, really, he's not feeling Zone of Genius. He wants to do something else. Maybe that domain name is worth it to her and she wants to buy it. Maybe she's like, okay, Ramon got 50,000, 100,000 people on his email list. Maybe I'll buy this and absorb it into EYG events. So my point is, if Capital One can buy Brex for $5.15 billion and they see value in this, and most of the time when companies are buying this, they're buying it for a few things. They're buying the technology, and I don't think that's the case of Brex. They're buying it because what the other company is doing has a bigger footprint where they want to get to, doing more credit cards and expense management. Capital One may want to do that. That's great. Or they have a whole oasis of customers that Capital One can sell into, and or Capital One can say, Brex, we have all the team members you have. We can do what you're doing at a lower cost and make more money. One of four reasons or more that people do this. We can think of the same thing. I have expertise in publishing content, building blogs, and etc. Maybe there's somebody else who I see, you know what? I could do what they're doing better, faster, cheaper than them. Let me see if they want to partner with me or I can buy them out. So everybody, my name is Ramon Ray. Headline of the day, Capital One is buying Brex, but I think it gives insight for us too. Ding, 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 ding. Apple adds design chief to John Ternus's growing duties. Now, here's the thing. Apple's one of the most beloved brands in the world, biggest companies in the world, $1 trillion brand. Of course, it passed from Steve Jobs to Tim Cook. This is a very thoughtful, methodical process, and Tim Cook has done a great job. Now, Tim Cook and executive board is saying, Tim Cook, it's time for you to now get ready to exit over the next few years. And how are they doing this? This guy named John Ternus, they're adding more responsibilities to his platform. Turnus. The current frontrunner is to replace Apple's longtime CEO, Tim Cook. He's been tapped to oversee the company's hardware and software design teams. And what they're trying to do is expose him to new operations. This is big. As you're thinking of growing your business, Dr. Will Moreland, as you're thinking of taking things to the next level, you have to train the people under you. Side note, we did this in my church. For many, many years, I was asked to help coordinate one of our youth conferences. We got about 150 guys who come together in the mountains of Pennsylvania for about 3 days of worship and fun and fellowship and more. I had been helping to coordinate that, part of the coordination team. I couldn't be there this year in 2026 when we did it. Forgot about the dates, wasn't able to be there. And I immediately said, great, it's time for a new team to take my place. Brought up one or two of the guys and some guys who've been doing it before. Brand new team. I wasn't doing anything with it. And the gentleman who was serving with me, he kind of backed away a bit. Another team ran with it and did it. As you're looking to grow, in Apple's case, they're looking for a replacement for Tim Cook to be CEO. But here's where I think the lesson is for all of us. Dr. Will Moreland, as you're doing what you're doing, as you're growing, doing what you're doing, who's there to either replace you in whole, but most of the cases it may not be that, who's there to step in on some of the roles you're doing just to help you grow the business, because you can't do it alone. I'm experiencing this in my business right now. I'll tell you about my team. I have a chief of staff. My chief of staff is a new role. She's only been there 2 months, and I've had a chief of staff before, and we're working as we speak. I'm giving her my growth plan for 2026, and her role is to help me get there. That's one. I have 2 content managers. Content is a big part of what we do at Zone of Genius at Ramon Ray Inc. 2 content managers that help me produce the content I do. So after this show, I touch very minimal what goes on in this show. Other people can touch it. Other people can take it and move it to the next level. So this is where I'm at. And the question for you all is, what are you doing to grow? What are you doing to get other people to add value to your business so you can focus on doing things that nobody else can do? And when I say things that nobody else can do, in the case of this incoming person from Apple or even Tim Cook doesn't have to be the best engineer. He probably is engineering background. He doesn't have to be the best designer. He has to be able to lead the team. He has to be able to visionary think ahead. And he's probably thinking of, what should we be acquiring? What should we be selling? Should we be focusing on AI or not? He's working with the board on these big strategic things. He's shaking hands, building relationships. That's what he's doing, guiding the team and checking with the team so he can serve them. Everybody, my name is Ramon Ray. This is the Rundown with Ramon, and I hope you're enjoying this edition of the Rundown with Ramon. Ding, 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 ding. This news that's coming up now doesn't mean anything to you. It's not going to change your life at all. TikTok, though, is finalizing a deal for a U.S. spinoff. TikTok, according to LinkedIn News, finalized a deal to divest its U.S. business to an American-led joint venture shortly ahead of Friday's deadline. Managing investors Oracle, Silver Lake, and Abu Dhabi's MGX will share a combined 45% stake of the new unit called TikTok USDS Joint Venture, which will be headed by former operations chief Adam Presser. So bottom line, it's a kind of a nothing burger. TikTok is here. TikTok is probably going to be going the same way it's already done. I can't imagine these companies messing it up, but now it's owned by U.S. interest. Great. That's what we wanted all along. I think it was a big political hullabaloo in some way, but hey, this is what it is. Glad that shift is there. I, Anna of the Musical Web, glad you're here today. Thanks for being here on the Rundown with Ramon. Glad you're here today. And before we get to our flagship topic of the day about making Mondays great again, ding, 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 ding. Wealthy inequality reaches the highest point since World War II. Wealth inequality in the U.S. has reached its highest point since the mid-1940s. Wealth inequality. Bloomberg is reporting the top 1% of Americans held 31.7% of the nation's total wealth, amounting to $55 trillion. In the third quarter of 2025, Federal Reserve data reveals the boost fueled by 3 consecutive years of stock market gains was prominent among the ultra wealthy. This is the way to wealth, people. I'm just telling you right now. You can work and make a job. And hey, Malika Starr, glad to have you here. Work and make money and get paid. That's great. You're providing for your family. You are not going to be wealthy. The next stage of wealth then is to invest in the stock market. In some versions, stock market, bonds, higher interest, not just put your money in the bank and make 1%, but put your money into investment accounts and make what? 3%, 5%, 10% more. And even with that, if you can invest in companies and making a 10x return, more return. Now you're going to lose some, but the rewards are greater. And then the other way besides the stock market and financing is real estate. This is the way to wealth, people. Working a job is good, and that's what the path for many people. But if you want to grow wealth, it's investing in the stock market, which I'm doing to some degree, learning more and more, taking my money, investing it, getting into real estate, and or as an entrepreneur, building assets that grow and that scale, and or eventually then you can sell them. This is the way to wealth. And I'm curious, it says the top 1% own. Let me just see that stat again. Top 1% hold 31.7% of the nation's total wealth. Now, I know for sure I'm not in the top 1%, but I'm curious. Top 1% of the USA, earn how much? And I know Alexandria and Dr. Nicole and Ian are there. That's not even a question. Okay, so to be in the top 1% of earners in the United States, a household needs an income of approximately $731,000 to over $800,000. Yeah, so I'm not there yet. Now, gross revenue for company and all that, but I think they're talking about household income. I'm not there yet. My goal is not to be in the top 1%, but it was good to know what that means. Now, of course, being in the top 1%. Taxes and all those kind of things come in, and you got to live a different life and a smarter game. So my goal is not to be in the top 1%, and this is a good point, but my goal is to live a better and better life. I'm blessed. I have a refrigerator full of food, more than others have in the world, but I'm not looking at others to be my floor. For me, what I want to do is build great experiences with my family in the coming years. That would make me happy and donate more and more money to my church. Those two things I want to do, and I'll be happy. If I can do what I'm doing here, building my business, working with great people like Malika Starr, like Ayanna, like Dr. Will Moreland. Dr. Will, me and you should consider having a podcast, man, where we can talk about issues of the day, have a lot of fun like we did, but expand it from the Great Grits debate just to talking about news of the day. I think it would be very good. We'll see on that. Working with Alexandra Nicole, others like that. That's what I want to do. Providing for my family. Yes, I'm already doing that. I've done that for years. Number two, building those great experiences for my family. Flying us all to Kenya, running an Airbnb for 20 people, things like that. That's what I want to do with my life. And then three, as I said, giving back to my church and then just building my business and having fun doing it. So that's my dream. That's what I'm looking to do. And whether that means I'm paying myself $300,000, $200,000, and then taking, what do you call that? Not disbursements. I forgot the word. Not owner's equity. Y'all know what I mean, where you take out money out of your own company. That's what I want to do. What's your dream? What do you want to do? And how are you going to get there? Everybody, my name is Ramon Ray. This is the Rundown with Ramon. And you know what I want you to do? In the chat, whether you're hearing this live or on demand, if you're hearing the sound of my voice, do me a favor. What's your dream? Declare what is your dream. Put in the chat, if you're hearing the sound of my voice, I want to know, what is your dream? The Bible says without a vision, the people perish. So I want you today, right now, hearing my voice, to type in the chat, what is your dream? What is your goal? Whether you're hearing this in a short form video, in a reel, however you're hearing this, what is your goal? What is your dream? Type that in. So I see it, yes. So others see it, yes. But so you see it. What is your goal? What is your dream? And you may have already done it. I want you to do it again, meaning you may have already done it in past sessions and past years, but do it again. Malika Starr, I love this. What's your goal? My goal is to have all that God wants me to have and have fun doing it. And I want you to be more specific, Malika. I like that, but that's too soft, Malika. I want you to be specific. What is Malika's goal? And if that's it, that's fine. But I think we should be a little more tactical. I'm going to push you a bit more. That's nice. I want all that God has for me, but that doesn't help you know how you're going to reach that in 2026, how you're going to reach that in 2027, how you're going to get there. So I think a little bit of specificity could be helpful, and I'm glad you want what God has for you, but Malika, I'm going to push you. What does Malika Starr want? What's the desire of your heart, right? Because we can have what God wants for us, but he also says, ask of me. So I'll push you on that a little bit. In a good way. So let's move on to the flagship topic of the day today, talking about make Mondays great again. How do we make sure we have the best Monday ever? In my humble opinion, to have the best Monday ever starts on Sunday night. And here's a few things that I found that you can do to have the best Monday ever. One, looking at your calendar ahead of time. Maybe you're looking at it on Saturday, on Sunday, looking at it ahead of time to know what is planned, what's coming up that's on the calendar. Number two, don't be afraid to prioritize everything on the calendar. Maybe I have a meeting scheduled with Dr. Will Moreland. Maybe I have a meeting scheduled, but then maybe something else came up, a major client meeting. Dr. Will and I, he knows the spirit which I'm saying this, and he would do the same to me. Hey, Dr. Will, listen, can I please reschedule this meeting? Because I have a client meeting. He's going to graciously say yes. Don't be afraid to prioritize. In fact, you must prioritize. Number three, don't be afraid to schedule. When you schedule, when you own your calendar, don't let things happen haphazardly. You have a better Monday. You make Mondays great again. The power of scheduling, not letting people own your calendar. No, you own your calendar. Other thing is having shorter meetings. You don't have to have every meeting be an hour. You don't have to have every meeting be half an hour. Maybe by default, it's 15 minutes. And this leads me to my other point. Using a powerful tool like Calendly or equivalent can be a game changer. I have different links depending on different things, depending on what I'm doing. I have a link for my Rundown with Ramon show. I have a meeting for VIP clients. I have a meeting for just a one-on-one schedule with Ramon. Different calendar gives people different links, give people different access to my calendar. This is so important. Other way you can do to make Mondays great again is to delegate to your team or delegate to AI, but delegate and have others do the things that you should not do or you don't want to do. There's always somebody else that is happy to do that work. So those are a few things that I do every single weekend to make my Mondays the best weekend ever. I've started a new job where I'm volunteering for a small school, small private school. I'm volunteering for a small school. That's going to take 3 hours in the morning away from me. I'm going to have to be in my car probably at 7 or 6:30 a.m. because I'm probably going to get to the school and do the show from the school so I can do the show consistently, and then I'll start class at 8:30. It's going to be a new season for me, doing it for January, February, March, April, May, doing this for 4 months, 2 days a week, and other things. So owning your calendar. Going back to dreams, I love this, I love this, I love this. I love this. Malika Starr says this. She's getting specific about her goal. She said, here goes, Ramon. Build a family neighborhood where we acquire at least 5 acres and build separate houses. I love that, Malika Starr. Love it, love it, love it. Alexandra, her goal, she says, become the best version of myself, add value to others. Here we go. And generate $100 million before taxes from a concept I'm developing within the next 10 years. I love this. This is where it gets specific. And my goal is to teach people to become published authors like they were published by the big publishing houses. I love this, Malika Starr. This specificity is important, that we declare it to others. We declare it to ourselves, what our goals are, what we want to do. Everybody, my name is Ramon Ray. This is a special edition of the Rundown with Ramon. Every edition is special. And I want to remind you, check out zoneofgenius.com. Subscribe. Go there now, zoneofgenius.com. And if you are tired of running your business alone, you are tired of running your business alone, you are tired of not being sure if you're on the right track, you want experienced insight from people you trust, from someone that you trust, I invite you to check out Ramon Office Hours. It's growing. We had our session last night, and it was fire. I opened my entire content machine and showed them how I'm building content. I saved up my tips and insight and ideas from the week ahead and shared that exclusively with Office Hours. You want to join? We have a vault. You can get the archived content if you miss out. But RamonOfficeHours.com, RamonOfficeHours.com. It is growing, and I encourage you to join that program. Join me in some places I'll be at. Scale with Stability, me and John Maxwell, scalewithstability.com. Check out that event coming up in April. I'll be at the Youth Leadership Conference at the end of January, IYMS.world, IYMS.world. Check that out. I'll be at that conference in January, end of January. And I'll be at CreativeCon in February in Chicago. Creative with an 8, creativecon.com, creativecon.com. You want to check that out. Everybody, my name is Ramon Ray. This is the Rundown with Ramon. It's been a joy and a pleasure being here. Glow is here. What's up, Glow? Glad you're here today. Thank you so much for being here. And guess what, Malika? Glad you're here in Office Hours with Ramon. Check your email box. If you're not getting emails from me, Malika, let me know. Oftentimes they say office hours starting now, etc. So let me know if you're missing those emails. Look in your spam folder. If you are, I'll get you set up straight. But yeah, we missed you last night. But glad you're here today on the Rundown with Ramon. And thank you, Malika, for being in my world. Thank you for seeing that I can add value to you. I appreciate you as I work with you to help you grow your publishing business. I'm excited. And especially it being in office hours, you can leverage me. Say, hey, Ramon, can you publish this out? Can you share this out? Would love to work with you and grow with you. Everybody, my name is Ramon Ray. This is the brand new edition of the Rundown with Ramon. If you have a question for me, feel free to ask it. I'll be right back in about 11 seconds. I'm getting excited, hitting buttons and clicking buttons and all the kind of things there. So listen, everybody, it's been great to be here. It's been so good to be here. Today is Friday, and you could be listening to this on our podcast on a Monday, on a Tuesday, on a Wednesday, on a Thursday, on a Saturday, and a Sunday. The day doesn't matter. The insight and the content are the same. And I'm encouraging you today to build your best self, to invest in yourself. And don't be afraid of growth. Don't be afraid of scaling. Don't be afraid of taking your business to the next level, because we need you to show up time and time again. Alexandria, thank you for your question. Love it, Alexandria. Your insight is amazing. Appreciate you so much. Where do you see founders overcomplicating growth? I think the biggest place that founders overcomplicate growth, and this is something by God's grace I don't struggle with. I struggle with a lot of things, but I've seen other people struggle with it, is they're just afraid to launch because they ask so many questions. They're just afraid to launch, Alexandria, they're afraid to launch. For example, I'm not sure if I should do an event. After you've thought about it, put down the pros and the cons, ask ChatGPT, and you're within the realm of, have you done this before? Why should you do it? Do you have the time to do it? Do you have the money to do it? It can't hurt. Try it. You don't have to do the event and lose $100,000, but try a small event with 10, 20 people. See what happens. So I think where people overcomplicate the growth, they want all this detail, all this documentation. The detail is good, Alexandra, to some degree, but sometimes we get buried in details, and the details become a stumbling block. The details become a wall, a barrier to growth, and we don't look at the high-level view. As I've shared with you, what is my flywheel? I've written down the Ramon Ray flywheel. It's very simple. There's Ramon, and we have office hours to serve our small business clients. We have Genius Talks to serve our small business clients. We have our annual online small business summit and our offline summit. Events, we have an online content to serve our small business clients, some paid offerings, some free offerings. It's pretty simple. And on this hand, we have our brand sponsors who say, Ramon, we want to work with you. Very simple. That's my flywheel. Now, I can get all the details and all that, but I think it's the details which hold us back. And you for sure should do, Malika, a small event for sure. Do a small event, make it happen. And I love this. Alexandra, will end on your amazing comment here. We become stronger and learn all we need to know in the execution. Alexandra, this is it. When I did my first small business summit in 2006, I dreamed it in 2005, did it in 2006. Didn't know what I was doing, never did it before. But again, I'm a high-level thinker. I'm not a high-level thinker like I'm Yoda, meaning I think very broad. I'm not a detailed guy. And that's a fault too. You need to be detailed, but I'm not a detailed guy. But I figured you need a venue, need a place to have it. You need maybe a stage, need some lights, got to have chairs, got to have food for people to come. That's a good experience. I got to market the event. I got to have people on the agenda. That's how I put it together. Pretty simple. I just outlined it in my head like that and said, it's 5 or 6 things I need. And shortly thereafter, I hired my friend Liz Caruso as my event producer, and I had my event. Alexandria, guess what? Malika, guess what? We had about 300 people, as I recall, at the first event with sponsors. So there's good things to be detailed. It's important. But man, because details, if you don't have the details, you can get stuck. You can get killed. You want details in an operating room. You want details when you're having a space shuttle launch. But doing an event, have a venue, have some food, marketing plan, have people come, have a stage. Maybe you don't need a stage. Have lights. Maybe you don't need lights. Record it. Maybe not. Have a photographer. Maybe not. Have a good agenda. Do the best you can. You'll fail. It'll flop. And then you do it again better. That's it. It's not that hard. Not that hard. Denny, thank you so much for being here, part of the Rundown with Ramon experience. $1 million in cash, or go back and inspire yourself from when you were 20 years old. Denny, give me a hard question, man. For me, that's easy. $1 million in cash, easy. Because I'll take that $1 million in cash, the version of the person I am today, right now, and it's going to be a wrap. So yeah, I'll take the cash right now. I wouldn't want to go back and inspire myself. I'll take the $1 million in cash. Love this. Doris is an amazing question. Thank you for your question, Doris. And I love this question here. How do you know if or when you may need a business partner? Doris, this is a great question. And this question, Doris, is parallel to people who ask, I need a donation for my event. You don't need a donation. What you're looking for is sponsor. You want money because you don't want to spend your own money, or you don't have the money, so you're confused about what it is. Well, here's how you know if you need a partner or not. And Doris, I'll give you my journey. And again, everybody, if you're loving this insight, we talk about these things in office hours. So I encourage you all, check out RamonOfficeHours.com, RamonOfficeHours.com. So the question is, how do you know if you need a business partner or not? Business partners are great for 2 main reasons. One, if you're building something that has enough heft, that has enough meat on the bone, that has enough money coming in, that you can pay yourself and you're fairly paying a business partner, ideally, let's say at one level it could be, in a 50-50 relationship. They're your equal business partner. You all are building this business together. That idea, that business should have enough that you can pay them and you can pay yourself if they're coming in as a full-on business partner. And the reason why you're saying you need them, because your expertise, for example, is being the best chef in the world. You know how to make the food. You know how to cook the food. You're the best chef in the world. You have accolades, let's say, as an example. Take this to your role, Doris and Malik and others. But the problem is you're not great with real estate, with the financing, with the operations, the hiring, and you wish you had a partner to help you grow the restaurant together, which needs both. It needs great food and it needs a great retail experience and staffing. Those things it must have to have a good restaurant. You may need a partner. But don't just go looking to hire one, to hunt for one, because here's the thing now where you may not need a partner. Maybe you just need to hire a good manager. And so as I look in my business, the two businesses I had, one of the first businesses I had, the Small Business Summit, which I sold, my partner, her name was Marion Banker. She was amazing, and I miss her to this day. You had this skinny white lady and a skinny black man, and we were two partners together. It looked so good on stage. This is before the day of DEI and all that kind of stuff, right? But it looked good, right? White, gray-haired woman and me. Black, skinny black guy, looking like Urkel, right? We were partners 50-50, but she brought in, Doris, the experience of financing, the accounting, the books. She was strategic. She worked a little more slower, a little methodically, and she was good yin to my yang of speed, marketing, sales, getting the brand sponsors, making the pitch, being on stage. The experience was amazing, but we worked well together because I sold the deal. I brought her the money, and she helped manage it. It was beautiful, beautiful. And I miss her partnership. So today, I wish I had a partner like that who could grow the business with me? Sure. However, I've hired a chief of staff who's operating in that similar-ish role, and I've matured quite a bit. So that's what I do. So about teaching to get sponsors, if you have that question in office hours, Malika, I'll answer it for sure. Office hours, it's a great experience. Week by week. We have it's not a course. So we have a potpourri dish of topics week by week. And yes, I'm happy to pour into you about sponsorship in office hours for sure. Definitely. So yeah, when you come in, ask me that question and we'll pour into it. Office hours goes the way you want it. And I come and I teach something in office hours. And then we open up for Q&A and discussion and have a great mentorship and business coaching. So thank you, Malika, for asking that question. Woo, this is good. Everybody, wow. I had a good workout today in the gym. I had a good workout here. Malika Starr, I appreciate you so much. Y'all follow Malika. She has an amazing book publishing company. Doris, thank you for being part of the community. Alexandra, y'all make sure you check out EYGEvents.com, EYGEvents.com. Elevate your growth. I want y'all to check that out. I'm going to capitalize the G here, EYGEvents.com. You want to check out what Alexandria Nicole is building. My name is Ramon Ray. It has been an absolute blessing to be with you all today on this week's edition of The Rundown with Ramon. And again, those of you hearing this in the podcast, hearing this on YouTube, hearing this on demand, do me a favor. Put in the comments. We've seen the live comments here, which are great. And I love those live comments, and I go back and respond to them. But if you're hearing this even a year later, a month later, a day later, still comment, still engage for yourself. I'm Ramon Ray. This is The Rundown with Ramon. Be blessed, everybody, and have an amazing day. Thanks.